I'll tell you what the American people's mandate is. Heal the nation. It's why he ran. That is why he won. That is the most critical near-term issue, managing the pandemic. It does seem as if these state polls massively misled us. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
We gotta steal! We gotta save!
Former Vice President Joe Biden is president-elect.
Tomorrow on Today, the next chapter in this historic election.
We have in-depth coverage. We're going to start with our experts.
What it means for the country and what comes next. Tomorrow on Today.
Drew Brees and Tom Brady, they have thrown for more yards and more touchdowns than anyone ever. If you want to see these legends aim to make more history, we'll see you Sunday night. Saints, Bucks on NBC.
Monday, the voice advisors arrive for the battles, and Gwen...
What about the save? Because I didn't do that last time.
...learns a new way to win.
We gotta steal!
I was gonna save you! Well played.
The Voice, Monday and Tuesday on NBC.
If you're going back to school, you want professors who care about who you are. You want a school that gives you credit for what you've achieved. You want choices about how and when you take your classes. You need more than just textbooks. You want the right resources to become the best you. This isn't just a wish list. This is what you'll find at Indiana Wesleyan University. Reimagine, reframe, and redefine what's possible at IWU.
Watch PBN tonight, 5 nights a week at 7:30, only on LEX 18. Count on LEX 18 News.
Joe Biden has been declared the winner of the 2020 presidential race. Plus, Governor Andy Beshear calls for a renewed focus in the fight against the coronavirus. And a Breonna Taylor memorial finds a permanent home. LEX 18 News at Sunrise Weekends starts now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on this Sunday. It is November 8th. I'm Kristen Edwards. Before we're joined by meteorologist Seth Phillips, we're going to kick off this morning with our continuing coverage of the 2020 presidential race. After nearly 4 days of waiting, Joe Biden has now been declared the 46th president-elect of the United States. NBC News made the call in Pennsylvania just before noon yesterday, putting Biden over the 270 electoral votes needed to take the win. Soon after the announcement, Dr. Jill Biden posted a photo on Twitter showing the future first couple holding up a sign with the vice in vice president covered up. President-elect Joe Biden took the stage last night, laying out his transition agenda while delivering a message of hope and a promise to heal a divided country. Newsy's Alex Miller breaks down the top issues the president-elect highlighted and what we can expect next.
Hello, my fellow Americans.
Speaking before a crowd of hundreds of supporters gathered in Wilmington, Delaware Saturday, Joe Biden delivered his victory speech as the 46th president of the United States.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States.
Reflecting on promises made during his campaign, Biden says his presidency will tackle issues that have plagued the country in recent months, starting with the COVID-19 pandemic.
We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or relish life's most precious moments until we get it under control.
However, at the heart of his speech was a request for all Americans to join him in restoring national unity.
It's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, lower the temperature, see each other again, listen to each other again.
A message that was echoed by Vice President-elect Kamala Harris.
Joe is a healer, a uniter, a tested and steady hand, a person whose own experience of loss gives him a sense of purpose.
Biden's speech came after an eventful day which saw celebrations erupt in cities across the United States. Supporters took to the streets in Wilmington, New York City, Washington, D.C., and Chicago.
This is the type person he is. He doesn't see race, color, creed, economic status, any of that. And that's what we need in this country.
He's a good man. He's a family man. He loves everybody.
Congratulations from around the world have been pouring in from leaders of foreign countries, including Argentina, Ireland, and Italy. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau praised the alliance between his country and the U.S., saying he's looking forward to working together. Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama posted a statement saying, quote, "We are fortunate that Joe has what it takes to be president and already behaves that way." Hillary Clinton, who faced President Donald Trump in 2016, hailed a new page for America and a history-making ticket. Messages applauding the president-elect have also come in from across the aisle, with the Republican Party's 2012 presidential nominee, Senator Mitt Romney, congratulating Biden and Harris on Twitter, saying that both are people of goodwill and admirable character. Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger of Illinois posted a similar message, writing, "Our nation deserves two competing parties who can work together when possible and compete honorably when not."
Let us be the nation that we know we can be, a nation united, a nation strengthened, a nation healed.
At this moment, President Trump is refusing to concede, citing voter fraud and saying he might take his case all the way to the Supreme Court. But December 8th marks the final day for these issues to be resolved, at least on the state level. President-elect Biden is asking voters to remain calm and patient while this is all resolved. In Delaware, Alex Miller, Newsy.
And coming up this morning on Meet the Press, Chuck Todd will be joined by Biden Deputy Campaign Manager Kate Bedingfield to discuss the president-elect's victory. Meet the Press starts this morning at 10 a.m.
How about another weekend day that was, well, very similar to yesterday? Things are going to look and feel good. Temperatures back up in the 70s this afternoon. Really hard to beat weather like this when you're talking about early November. It just doesn't happen like this, but it is. And it's going to be nice. In fact, already looking pretty good out there with blue skies overhead. Temperatures in the low 60s. There was a little patchy morning fog to start out the day, but it seems like that's already starting to lift and break apart as temperatures warm and warm quickly. We're going to be in the 70s before we get to noon, and then just kind of top out in the mid-70s range for most areas. Some areas in the southern counties may even get a little warmer than that. What we're looking at for temperatures right now, low 60s, upper 50s for most. A few cool spots down in the southern counties. Mid-50s for Somerset, Monticello, and Harlan now in the upper 40s. But it will not be long before all these areas warm and warm quickly, already up about 5 to 10 from this time yesterday. All right. Talking about the future, what's going to be happening in the near future, local pattern stays about the same. Big cold front, though, will be here middle of the week. That will start to change things in a really big way, which is also the reason why I've been saying get outside and enjoy this weekend, because it's going to change rapidly. And we're going to talk about Ada. Wants to hang out in the Gulf of Mexico for a while. Talk about that coming up in your full forecast.
Now to the coronavirus here in Kentucky, where we saw a record number of reported cases for a Saturday this weekend. Yesterday, Governor Andy Beshear announced 2,162 new COVID-19 cases. That brings the state's total to 119,661. 17 more people have also died from the virus, raising the death toll to 1,561. Our positivity rate is now up to 7.17%. Jefferson, Fayette, Warren, Kenton, and Boone counties reported the most positive cases. And we break down the numbers even further with LEX 18's Eleanor Buckley, who takes a look at the Commonwealth's battle with COVID-19.
Now that the election appears to be over, Governor Beshear says it's time to really focus on COVID-19. He took to Twitter saying it's time to come together as Americans and as Kentuckians. We're in the fight of our lifetime against COVID-19, and we must unite to battle this virus that has killed 235,000 Americans, including more than 1,500 Kentuckians. A message of deep concern he addressed in his most recent press conference on Thursday.
You remember when we heard of 1,000 cases and it was striking and it was worrisome. I remember back when 100 cases was. We went from 1,000 cases to 2,000 cases, well, to 2,300 cases far, far too quickly. It shows that the widespread community spread is not controlled, and it's going to take a lot more buy-in and action from us.
The governor is so concerned because over 80 of Kentucky's 120 counties are now in the red zone. Just today, 2,162 new cases of the coronavirus were reported and 17 deaths. And the positivity rate is now over 7%. The governor has advised counties in the red zone to postpone public and private gatherings, not to eat at restaurants, and schools should switch to virtual learning. KHSAA also notified schools that the start of this year's football playoffs will be delayed 1 week, meaning they will begin the weekend of November 19th. In Lexington, Eleanor Buckley, LEX 18 News.
In Louisville, a memorial dedicated to Breonna Taylor has been moved to a new permanent location. Demonstrators met in downtown's Jefferson Square Park yesterday afternoon, where the memorial was dismantled. The pieces were carried down North Main Street to its new home at Routes 101 African American Museum. The plan to move the memorial was made in conjunction with Breonna Taylor's family and the Kentucky Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. A new space for the memorial will be created in 2 rooms of the museum, which overlooks the Ohio River. Champion horse trainer Bob Baffert knows how to hold a record. He celebrated his 4th classic victory at this weekend's Breeders' Cup. Baffert trained 3 of the 10 horses in this year's race, including eventual winner Authentic, who is also this year's Kentucky Derby champion and runner-up in the Preakness Stakes. All right, stay with us. We'll be back for a check on your weather.
Some people like to take things slow. But if speed is your game, you're going to love fast play games from the Kentucky Lottery. There's no waiting, no scratching, and a rolling jackpot. And you'll know instantly if you've won. Run out today and play this new fast play game.
This is the 2 for $4 double rally burger with cheese deal from Rally's. A deal so extra not everyone can handle it. With 2 beefy double rally burgers with American cheese and all the fresh fixins for just $4. It takes twice the appetite to dive into this deal. Think you got what it takes to tame this meaty duo? Go ahead. We double beef dare you. Get twice the burgers and double the dare for just $4. Uh-huh. The 2 for $4 double rally burger with cheese deal. Get Rally's delivered.
In a year when so much has been taken from us, we're still thankful. Not so much for objects or things, but more for each other and what we have the power to do. This year, with your help, the Simply Give program will provide over 80 million meals to help feed our neighbors in need. Together, we'll get better and be better, because together, we are better.
Recycle right, Central Kentucky. Unwanted items can damage equipment and harm employees at the Recycle Center. Help support our recycling program by recycling right. Recycle plastic bottles and jugs. Yogurt cups and clamshell containers are not recyclable in your curbside bin. Put them in the trash. A full list of items that can be recycled in your curbside bin can be found at lexingtonky.gov/recycle.
If you live in Kentucky and you're eligible for Medicare, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield can help you find a great plan at a great rate. Our Medicare Advantage plans pay for many of the costs original Medicare doesn't, so you can focus on other important decisions. Anthem plans help protect you from high medical costs. Our plans include benefits to help you stay healthy at home, with 24/7 access to online doctor visits, prescription drug delivery, and access to online workout videos through Silver Sneakers fitness programs. You even have access to an allowance for health items delivered straight to your door. Plus, get dental coverage and vision benefits. If you live in one of the following counties, you can receive a plan with $0 monthly premiums. Call now. The Medicare enrollment deadline for Kentucky is December 7th. So call Anthem today at 1-800-262-8830 to learn more.
Clouds non-existent again for today because of the fact that we have this high pressure sitting overhead. It's been just a really nice forecast for a few days, and it's going to continue for a few more before we start to see a little bit of a change up, a little bit more turbulence coming in for our forecast. But for today, another nice one. Take advantage. I cannot stress that enough, because next weekend we're down 10 degrees. And then beyond that, we're going to be cooler So we're kind of getting back into that fall and even kind of a winter type air mass moving forward. But we do still have a few days of this nice weather. And you see how the high pressure is basically controlling the forecast for the eastern half of the United States. You get out towards the west, the plains all the way out towards the coastline, and you've got rain, snow, a mix of both, a lot of wind out there. This is a deep trough spreading down into the Four Corners, and all of the states above that are dealing with very cold air and obviously all of that precipitation, which can be anywhere from rain all the way over to snow. Just rain for southern Florida. This is coming off of Tropical Storm Eta, making its way near the Bahamas, but eventually going to take a left turn back into the Gulf of Mexico as it crosses Cuba. And it's going to sit out in the Gulf of Mexico for a few days, and really the better part of the week upcoming. It's not going to be until the following weekend that we see any sort of a change with this storm. But models are hinting at something a little strange, something that we don't typically see with tropical systems. I want to bring you to the long-range forecast. What these yellow lines represent are equal barometric pressure. So when you start to see the little circles, that's lower pressure, and that's the system right there. That is Eta. So you see how it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, and those bars kind of broaden a little bit. So it's weakening. It's not quite as strong as where it was sitting over Cuba. But then you see it getting its act together, moving towards Tampa. You think it's going to be a landfall, but it moves back out into the Gulf of Mexico, weakens further. And then keeping the model going, you see these lines right here. That is a cold front. That's the one that we're going to be dealing with. It's going to sweep up Eta and bring it somewhere, likely back into the Atlantic. But will it be a tropical system when it makes landfall? That's going to be the big question, is are we going to be affected by that, especially in the panhandle of Florida? Long ways to go. Remember, that's going to be all the way at the beginning of the following week. So we got a long ways to go before we know exactly what that storm is going to do. As far as the future track for us, there is going to be a cold front. It's going to be here by the middle of the week. It brings in rain. Best chance for rain this week will be on Wednesday. A few thunderstorms possible to be embedded inside of that rain shield that comes through. But until then, wonderful. All the sunshine that we have, abundant throughout the day tomorrow as well. Clouds will increase on Tuesday ahead of the front, and then you'll see those showers work in from the western counties. It's mostly going to be Tuesday evening before we start to see our best chance for rain get here, and that's going to be overnight into Wednesday. So for today, plenty of sunshine. Enjoy it. Temperatures were starting out mild or just slightly chilly, but getting up to warm, mid-70s this afternoon, which will likely be a record at least break, if not even a tie, coming in for tomorrow as well. For Tuesday, that's when the changes start to get going, especially in the precipitation department. Talking about records, though, yesterday we got to 72. We did not break the high of 78. But today, 76 should surpass 75, which is the record high. Tomorrow, very close, could do it again. But then on Tuesday, likely not going to be the case as that high pressure starts to finally break and the temperatures cool slowly at first. Then it cools a lot going into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Next best chance of rain after the middle of the week will be on Sunday.
Thank you, Seth. A number of conspiracy theories and false information spread across the internet as we waited 3.5 days to know the results of the presidential election. Cameron Palome looks at how to spot these conspiracy theories.
Doctored videos, bogus blogs, the internet more ripe than ever for fake news and conspiracy.
It's not bounded by the truth. You can say literally anything, and you don't have to be constrained by reality. And so you can make something that's really exciting or emotionally evocative.
Dr. Emily Varaga, an associate professor at the University of Minnesota, has been studying this issue for 6 years. She says not only do these stories capture the reader's attention, but the websites themselves are built to offer phony credibility.
They are trying to mimic and use the legitimacy of news organizations to look and feel real.
Many offer news in the title or even sound like a legitimate journalism organization. Their reach increased by a growing batch of personalities.
Some really prominent actors who are spreading misinformation, and we really need to push back against those actors immediately.
Two of those actors, Alex Jones of InfoWars and popular podcaster Charlie Kirk, rallying the president's supporters in Arizona now. Misinformation raced across the internet this week. Already, the use of Sharpies canceling votes quickly debunked.
I think it can be really dangerous, and I think the two issues we're most focused on right now are coronavirus and the election.
Both have had their share of false or misleading stories, amplified at times by the highest office in the land.
And this is a case where they're trying to steal an election. They're trying to rig an election.
A statement that's proved false so far.
Particularly when occupying positions of authority, that confers some degree of authenticity or perceived authenticity to the statements that they're making.
It's a complex battle of self-truth and provable facts, inclusion and acceptance, human nature at its most vulnerable. And Dr. Rustin says we can find our way through the fog.
It is going to require work on all players within the information environment. Audience members, individuals have to take some ownership of the pursuit of credible information.
Coming up, with the coronavirus pandemic affecting schools across the nation, some have taken the hybrid approach. But for some districts in Florida, funds are running out. We'll see what actions superintendents are taking in response. But first, let's take a final look at those lottery jackpot numbers. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot amount is $152 million, and Wednesday's Powerball jackpot amount is $158 million. We'll take a look at the final weather when we come back.
LEX 18 Storm Tracker Weather. The experience you trust every day. The accuracy you need on every device. With MaxTrack, the only live Doppler in central Kentucky. So while seasons may change, our commitment stays the same. When Kentucky weather is at its worst or at its best, you can count on us. LEX 18 Storm Tracker Weather and MaxTrack Live Doppler in partnership with ADA Heating and Air and Furniture World.
Joe with the lawn care company was asking about cleaning up our leaves this fall.
Would they mulch some of the leaves back into the lawn?
He said he'd use a mulching kit on his professional mower that works all those leaves into the lawn as they mow.
Check. Free fertilizer.
After talking to Dr. Duty about their Cataract Plus procedure, we decided it was the perfect thing for me. Probably the most amazing thing for me has been waking up at night and being able to see in the dark. I feel like I'm seeing things that nobody else knows about. I just can't rave about it enough. I feel like this is my great second chance. And what better time than last quarter of my life, you know, to be able to see like I want to see.
For details, visit cataractsplus.com.
Get Black Friday savings all month at Don Franklin Family of Dealerships. During the month of November, for every new vehicle sold, we're donating $25 to local organizations to help families in need during the holidays. Shop, save, and let's make a difference together. DonFranklinAuto.com.
I can't take time from my job for physical therapy 3 times a week.
I found an OBGYN, but she was 20 miles away and I had no one to drive me.
You know, the people at Passport get that. They found a therapist that could see me on my schedule.
Passport made sure I could get there for every appointment.
Call 1-800-578-0603 and choose Passport for your Medicaid plan. Passport Health Plan by Molina Healthcare, a proud sponsor of UK's Cats in the Community.
You're going to love Fast Play games from the Kentucky Lottery. There's no waiting, no scratching, and a rolling jackpot. And you'll know instantly if you've won. Run out today and play this new Fast Play game.
Monticello Banking Company. We're not only in Monticello. With 19 locations across central and southern Kentucky, your home is our home too. After 125 years in full-service community banking, the same dedication to superior service that made us successful in 1895 is still with us today. And our host of products and services has never been more impressive. So wherever you call home, stop by Monticello Bank. After all, your home is our home too. Monticello Bank. Member FDIC.
What's the next thing I need to talk to our lawn service about, Blade?
Make sure they keep leaves out of the street.
People on bikes can slip and get hurt.
Leaves can clog storm drains, cause flooding, and wash through storm drains to our local creeks, causing algae blooms and other problems.
I'm on it.
You're watching LEX 18 Sunrise Weekend.
Time now is 9:23. As coronavirus cases rise, school districts in Florida are still waiting to find out how the state will help them pay for a second semester of virtual learning. Wendy Lane tells us the action that superintendents are taking now.
During the fall semester, an emergency order allowed schools to receive the same funding for students who chose between e-learning, brick and mortar learning, or a hybrid of both. But in December, the emergency order expires, and the Florida Department of Education has not yet said if it will keep funding students who are learning from home during the pandemic.
This is, potentially very large holes being punched into our budgets if we are not funded for kids who are doing e-learning.
Parent Kelly Vera has 2 high school students who are e-learning. She thinks the options should stay the same for the spring semester.
We're already in it, but to make families have to rethink their decisions. Do I transfer to virtual? Do I go back to brick and mortar even though I've got a pre-existing condition or my kid does? I think it's going to be too hard on too many families.
Last week, Florida's Association of Superintendents sent a letter to the state recommending to extend the emergency order through the end of the school year. It's something Manatee County School Board member Charlie Kennedy agrees with, especially with the recent surge in COVID cases.
It is not good education. It is not good public health to cram thousands of students back into indoor spaces where social distancing is impossible.
Florida's Department of Education is expected to announce their decision on second semester plans later this month.
The Better Business Bureau is warning people not to fall for fake coronavirus studies. According to the BBB, scammers are sending out text messages promoting fake clinical trials. The emails claim the study pays upwards of $1,000. Once you click the email's link, the BBB says malware downloads onto your computer or mobile device. Scammers then use the malware to access your usernames, passwords, and other personal information. They're also warning of trials that ask for personal information like government ID or bank account numbers. The BBB explains that real medical researchers would never ask for that kind of info during a screening. Well, when President-elect Joe Biden moves into the White House, some four-legged friends will be joining him. The soon-to-be first family will also include their fur family. President-elect Biden and his wife have 2 German Shepherds named Major and Champ. The Bidens fostered Major before adopting him from the Delaware Humane Society in 2018, and the Bidens will be bringing back the tradition of first pet to the White House after President Trump didn't bring any of his own furry friends to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I mean, whether it's at the White House or any other house, I am always here for that dog content. So.
There you go. Yeah, never a bad idea to have some of your furry friends right there.
Yeah, bring on the photos. I want to see them.
Of course. Talking about the weather, the next few days is going to be pretty nice out there, and the blue screen behind me is eventually going to turn into the 8-day forecast. There it is. And now you can see what we're talking about. Plenty of sunshine throughout the next couple of days. Enjoy it. It's going to be wonderful. It's not normal to have temperatures this warm this time of the year. In fact, we will likely break a record getting up into the afternoon with temperatures getting to the mid-70s. Tomorrow, very close to the actual temperature record there. On Tuesday, starting to cool slightly, only because of the fact that we're starting to see cloud coverage move in, high pressure breaking down, and the low starting to move in. The cold front on Wednesday bringing rain, maybe a few thunderstorms, but your best chance for rain this week will be on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday look decent, but much cooler. Temperatures are dropping about 10 to 15 degrees from now until then. And then next weekend, getting for the UK game, it seems like that rain should start to hold off. That's good news for the game. But we will eventually see the remnants of Ada by the end of the weekend.
All right, can't wait to get out there and enjoy that weather. Thank you so much, Seth. And thank you for watching the weekend edition of LEX 18 News at Sunrise. Meet the Press is next.